Hi, I'm the conservative, mostly bald guy with another review for you, and it's been a while since we did our last review. That's mainly because I don't get to go to the movies very much because they cost a whole stinking lot. I don't know, here in Midland, Texas, it costs $8 a pop. I'm sure it's even more expensive elsewhere, but that kind of limits me. Unless we go to the dollar theater, and I really prefer not to sit in hot buttered popcorn. Thank you very much. This week, we're talking about Evan Almighty. Went last night with my family. All four of us went. I had a blast. I really didn't know what to expect from this show. I had read a review by an Associated Press writer who just tore the thing apart. Said it was a terrible movie, and I completely disagree. We really enjoyed it. Directed by Tom Shadyac, and I'm sure I'm pronouncing that incorrectly. It kind of gives you a clue of how the movie goes by some of his previous shows. He did Bruce Almighty with Jim Carrey, Patch Adams with Robin Williams, of course Liar Liar and Ace Ventura, a couple of more Jim Carrey flicks, as well as, this is kind of a little exception from what he's been doing, Dragonfly with Kevin Costner. It's also his work. So he's got a pretty good background in what he's done. They call this a comedy of biblical proportions. That's kind of the subtitle to the movie. And well, it's obvious. It deals with a lot of biblical stuff, and it's supposedly one of the summer blockbusters. I'm not sure it will reach blockbuster level, but it's a good show. It's rated PG for some crude humor, it says. Mild crude humor. I mean, the show is about animals. It's the Ark. It's the story of Noah in modern day times. So with this kind of comedy, there's going to be a lot of poop jokes, a lot of poop sight gags, and they go almost overboard with the whole poop thing because every animal you can think of is either pooping or throwing up, and it's used quite effectively at times, but it gets a little old after a while. One of the sons in the movie, the youngest son, is a big Animal Planet fan, so he is able to rattle off facts left and right about different animals. Some of them are rather sexual. One of them is extremely sexual in nature, and it keeps getting brought up again. It has to do with male reproductive parts on some certain bird or something, and it keeps getting used over and over again. So, and I was a little uncomfortable with that, especially with my kids sitting in there. It's one of those things you kind of hope, oh boy, I hope they didn't catch that, and just kind of go on. But really, that's the only, I would say, bad part of the show is those sexual jokes, and it just happens 2 or 3 times. Stars Steve Carell as Evan Baxter. Evan is a former television broadcaster, newsman who gets elected into Congress with the phrase, we're going to change the world. What are we going to do? We're going to change the world. So he goes about trying to change the world. God hears him and wants to help him out. And it goes from there. He goes into Congress, and I won't give away more of the story, but God does show up and tells him to build an ark, and it just gets pretty funny from that point on. Of course, Steve had a lot of practice being funny. He was on Saturday Night Live, and still is, I think, on occasion. Anyway, 10 years worth of Saturday Night Live behind him. And of course, he did the 40-Year-Old Virgin was one of his last big movies. Didn't see that one, but there is a reference to it in this movie. A very obvious reference. I'll just let you watch that when you see it. God, Morgan Freeman reprises his role as God, and I think did a much better job in this movie than he did in Bruce Almighty. He's more relaxed in this role, and he's on screen a whole lot more, and I mean, he just laughs and has a lot of fun. He's a good God. Of course, God is good, so there you go. Another person I enjoyed, John Goodman is in this film. John's been in a ton of stuff, but he's sort of, I don't know if it was intentional or not, but he reprises his role as the Cyclops from Oh Brother, Where Art Thou? I mean, he's not a one-eyed freak, but but he plays Congressman Long. But the character, the personality, the attitude he has is definitely the Cyclops from Oh Brother Where Art Thou. Same kind of, I'm going to beat you up and get what I want. He doesn't physically touch anybody, but boy, he bullies up on a lot of people. Steve Carell or Evan Baxter included. He does that role very, very well. Another actor I enjoyed was Wanda Sykes. She plays Rita, the secretary. I never say her last name. She's just Rita, and she is the sort of the smart aleck counterpoint to the show. She has tons of great little one-liners, and she's just a joy to watch in the show. So I've not really seen her in a lot of other stuff. I'm sure she's had a pretty good film repertoire, but she did a good job here. It's a great family film. Being a Christian and being a paid minister, it's my job. I mean, I know a lot of Bible, and I was wondering how they were going to deal with the whole flood thing, since God sort of promised he wouldn't do that again. But it is handled very, very well. I'm not going to give the ending away, just to let you know that who wrote this did their homework, and it's very good. Another thing I really enjoyed was the interpretation of how the ark was made. Of course, they big trucks come in and drop the wood off, but his actual process of going through building the ark was really fascinating. Watching him and his sons work on this thing together was pretty amazing. And another thing that I really enjoyed was this visual idea of how life was inside the ark. It's not something you think about real often, but they did here. And what it was like in there with all the animals and how they lived together, how they worked together. Pretty fascinating. The show is full of great messages. Family values, a lot of that. And positive family values. What you're supposed to do instead of what you're not supposed to do. There's no negative role modeling here for the family. Putting others first, considering others. The golden rule pops up all over the place. God's love for all mankind is stressed over and over and over again. Even random acts of kindness, which is a program I've been involved with in churches before. Only here they call it acts of random kindness. And if you think of the anagram to that, acts of random kindness, I'll let you figure that one out yourself, how that may lead to things. I guess one of the funnest part, I always ask my kids at the end of the show, what was your favorite? And they said the ending, which is post the end of the show. So when the show ends, stick around 10 seconds, because one of the best parts of the show starts then. It's sort of the outtakes. Morgan Freeman comes on and says, I now issue a new commandment. Thou shalt do the dance. Because Steve Carell's character has this stupid little dance he does throughout the show when he's happy. So at the end of the show, they apparently filmed a ton of folks in their off time doing this crazy dance and various and sundry variations of the dance. So you get to spend 5 minutes watching the crew and all the actors and all the extras do the dance at different points in time throughout the filming. So this is a great show. Forget what the Associated Press says. I'm going to give this show 4 out of 5. 4 bald heads. Go and see it. Evan Almighty. Great show. And as an extra, I want to invite you to come over. I have another podcast that I put out fairly regularly. It is the Pitch Pipe Cast. It is all about Christian music, a cappella Christian music to be precise. There is a world of great music out there by a cappella Christian artists, and we do reviews, interviews, new album previews, all those views kind of thing. You can find out more about it at pitchpipepro.com. See you there.